Oregon residents being snatched off the street like that by who knows who has now given rise to a new lawsuit by Oregon State Attorney General, who's suing 4 federal agencies, asking a judge for a restraining order to stop their operations in Oregon streets. Quote, ordinarily, a person exercising his right to walk through the streets of Portland who's confronted by anonymous men in military-type fatigues and ordered into an unmarked van can reasonably assume that he's being kidnapped and is the victim of a crime, making it impossible for citizens to determine whether they are being kidnapped by militia or other malfeasants dressed in paramilitary gear or are being arrested. In addition to the 4 federal agencies that she's suing, the Oregon Attorney General is also suing John Does 1 through 10 unnamed officers who can't be cited by name because neither their names nor their agency affiliation is known. Joining us now is Ellen Rosenblum. She's Attorney General of the great state of Oregon. Madam Attorney General, I really appreciate you taking time to be here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Rachel. That video makes me cry every time I see it.
Yeah, I mean, have you and other state officials in Oregon had any rational explanation of that specific incident, let alone the other similar incidents that are described in your lawsuit?
No, we haven't had any explanation really at all. Apparently, Donald Trump sent these agents here to Oregon to try to quell the violence that was occurring. And you can see right there that, in fact, it appears to be just the opposite. And this is not the only instance. This is one that was caught on camera. Thank goodness for cameras, because otherwise, you know, you can't make this stuff up. But it's also a little hard to believe this is happening right here in Portland. So we brought this lawsuit because we had enough of it. The governor and the mayor of Portland asked these people to leave. They won't leave. The acting interim Secretary of Homeland Security says they're staying. And the president announced today that he's sending these troops. Maybe it'll get them out of Portland, but I don't really relish them going to any other places and engaging this similar type of behavior, because it's outrageous. It's a violation of the Constitution, and we're not standing for it.
Their presence is itself problematic in lots of ways that you just referenced and that are described in your lawsuit. But one of the things I worry about is grave misconduct by officers who are operating in this sort of way. We've seen some misconduct documented and alleged by protesters. But in the case of particularly egregious misconduct, without name badges for the individual officers and without identifying information in terms of the agency that they're with, how would you and the state of Oregon broadly, or even local police, pursue them in terms of, trying to arrest somebody for a murder or an assault or something deadly serious in terms of the criminal law?
Well, we also opened a criminal investigation as to some incidents that have occurred. One in particular that there's also a video of, showing a federal officer essentially shooting some kind of a projectile and hitting a peaceful protester in the face. That protester still in the hospital, received plastic surgery, and then followed up with plastic surgery. And we are investigating that particular incident. So we'll be in a better position once our investigation is underway to hopefully identify particular individuals. It's been acknowledged that it was a member of the U.S. Marshal Service that was engaged in that behavior. So I don't think it's going to be quite that difficult to identify people. We'll have to, prove the other elements of the crime. And we are potentially expanding our criminal investigation to include other incidents that have occurred.